Welcome to the Dr. S1-Ep.10 podcast. I have various U.S. and international accounting and tax designations, a master's in tax, and a PhD in business administration with a concentration in finance and accounting. Over the past 2 decades, I have helped several SMEs succeed. This podcast will provide strategies and resources to help startups and existing businesses thrive. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me again today. This is Dr. S1-Ep.10, and of course, we're at the Dr. S1-Ep's podcast. We have a very interesting topic today, and very excited. We're already in the holiday season. I'm almost done with the year, and that's really, really very exciting. And just excited that we all have been able to go through 2022 and reach today. So really, really happy. We're not done with it yet, but very happy. Now, just to compliment or comment or thank everyone that has watched this and this live show, and just providing, that they have provided great feedback. Really appreciate that. So I just wanted to shout out to all of them and everybody else. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Again, very excited. This is just the beginning. I know I started really seriously in this October this year. And, ever since, trying to bring resources to small and medium-sized enterprises to make sure they thrive, right? With limited resources, they have to really get information to really really thrive. All right. So today, another interesting topic. So the year is coming to an end, and I know some of you had this question, and the question is, how do I get paid? How do I get, what ways can I get clients and customers to pay me, to pay my business, of course. So that's something that I know a lot of businesses struggle with, so many. So I'm going to touch on that. I know that I just remembered as I was preparing for this show that I said I'm going to talk about tax savings as we close the year. I'm going to note that, and next week I will talk about that. Now, there are few tips. This list is not exhaustive. There are so many things you can add, but I just want to state a few things. The first thing you need to do, remember, we're talking about how to make sure that you get paid, either your client or your customer. First of all, make sure you have clear payment terms. Make sure you have clear payments. How do you want to get paid? Make sure it's stated clearly. When you enter into any agreement with anyone about services, about delivery, about providing, or manufacturing anything, make sure that there's an agreement in place. Make sure there's an agreement in place, right? And of course, consequences for not going with that, going through fulfilling such agreements, right, is very important. Because so many people say, oh, but I know the person is my friend, is my family. Is good. I'm not saying you should not give things to or supply things to your family and friends, but it's so important. I've seen friends that at the end of the day, after providing them the services, I'm happy. I'm not saying my friends, but generally, because I've customers or clients have spoken to me about this, and they said, oh, I thought he or she was my friend. And at the end of the day, they did not follow through, right? So you want to make sure that you have a clear, a defined contract or any payment terms with them, all right? Define, no ambiguity, no, oh, I'm not sure of this, I'm not sure of that, all right? The second way to make sure you get paid is that you should, people do that, but let me say before people do that, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You're just meeting someone and you extend the person the credits, like, oh, I'm going to make sure that that's fine, you can pay me later, and you don't know the person is a new customer, right? Now, personally, because I have my practice, the CPA practice, if I've never met you before, if I don't know you and somebody refers you to me, I take my payment upfront because I don't know you. I don't know if you will pay me. Now, after some time, if I'm comfortable with you, that's fine. I know you, after some time, I know who you are. And you can say, okay, you know what, I'll give you this, a portion, a percentage or something like that, or they'll say, okay, just get this done. I know them. I've been working with them for years, right? That is totally different. Sometimes, so some people can still disappoint, but I had I'm a bit confident because, unless something happens, they have been they have been very regular in paying me, right? But you meet somebody and you start extending credits. Now, a lot of companies, there's something they do. They do a credit check before they even extend you credit. That's different. If you want to do that, you have a policy in place that said, you know what, I'm going to do a credit check before I start doing business with you because maybe your business is credit based. You actually say net 30, paying after 30 days. That's fine. As long as you have something to support your position that you're going to give the person time to pay. But if you don't have that, I will tell you that is not the way to go. Especially with new clients, do not extend credit to anyone, especially when, as I said, it's a new client. If you have credit checks in place that you extend based on credit checks, that is fine. That's different. That's your own process and procedure. But sometimes people don't have that. Okay. Another way to get paid is take an upfront deposit. Sometimes people take an upfront amount that is equal to maybe the cost or the cost and addition, right? They just take an upfront amount and get the balance paid later. So I would say that that might be a way to go. That since I'm not going to take 100% of the money, but give me something to hold on to so that I can do your work, and at least let that at least cover your costs. At least, and then, but I would say that I would go with the first one, that if you're not still sure, just make sure you charge the person, right? So again, know who your customer is. New customers, treat them differently. Be nice, but tell them that this is my policy, right? Be nice, not like they're being rude or, well, there's policy that we have that because you're new, after some months, when we get used to you being a client, after some months, we can change that for you. But for now, this is how it goes. All right. Okay. Another way to make sure you get paid is invoice timely. Invoice timely. I know some people are so passionate about what they do. They're so excited, and it's fine to be passionate. I say that people get into, especially SMEs, they get into this because they love what they do. They get into their business because they start a business because they love what they do. So yeah, it's good to be passionate about something, but you know what? Be passionate and invoice, please. Invoice. Make sure you invoice, right? Make sure you're invoiced on time. Right? You finish your work, invoice on time, right? Make sure, I know some people that actually will tell you that you have to, they will tell you, maybe some service companies pay me 50% to get the work started. Then the other 50% is when I've completed it, but I cannot release the completed work to you unless I get paid. Those are some of the things you can put in place. So invoice is very, very important, right? Another way you can ensure that you get paid is, sometimes, we say net 30. Net 30, for those that don't know what's net 30, means that pay within 30 days. Some companies will say, you know what, if you pay within 14 days or within 15 days, we'll give you a discount, right? We'll give you a discount. It could be 3%. It could be, a discount, right? Just to encourage them to pay early, right? Give them a discount. So remember, we're looking at how do you get paid? Someone that says, you know what, and you might say, 2% is not really big, but if it's someone that buys a lot from you, 2% is substantial, is some kind of money that you can say, yes, I'm seeing that, right? Okay, so I offer such things, right? Of course, I know it depends on your type of business, right? You look at what works for you. What kind of, are you in service industry? Are you in retail? What is it that you're, are you in wholesale? Because some people do wholesale, right? Okay, make sure that you look at that. If you're into wholesale, some people are even into consignment. It just depends. Small businesses operate so differently. So there's differently, compared to large businesses. And these are some things you sit back and say, okay, let me implement them so that I'll get paid. You see, at the end of the day, if you don't implement such specifics, right? You end up working for free. And if you cannot meet your bills, right, your business will end up closing down, right? So, and then now, even if you extend credit, if you're comfortable with person and you extend credit to the person, now you have to check if that person, follow with the person. If the person is a regular client, continues to pay on time, then all of a sudden the person missed a payment or, is late. I would say for me, I would know that something is wrong with that situation. I would know something is wrong with that situation. And then I would, follow up because personally I would do that because this is not regular. Now, if it becomes a regular situation that the person continues to do this, then the person goes back to being a new aspect. What the terms before, when I did not know him or her, his or her company, would revert to the beginning. I would just say, I'm sorry, you've disappointed us so many times, or the firm so many times, so we cannot, offer you that, opportunity to the opportunity that you gave us, that we gave you to pay anytime or pay within 30 days, all right? So, and then the next point is follow up if the payments are late. I'll give an example. Again, if the payments are late, of course, you have someone that follows up, or if you have a personal relationship with the person because you've had the client for some time, give the person a call. It could be something is wrong. But if something is not wrong and the person is doing this, then remember, you have to get paid, right? You have to get paid. So it's so important for you. If we find out that the person is not paying you because of the person doesn't want to pay. Some people say, oh, I have bills. But remember, you did the work for the person. So you are supposed to be part of the bill, right? So you analyze things. Even so, a client that today is a credit-worthy client or someone that's been paying, and if the status changes because of something that the client, you will know if something is wrong. If it's something that you could help the client, maybe the client falls sick is different. That's different. But if the client publicly says, you know what, I have some priority, I want to, take care of that before paying you, and then the client still brings work to you, you have to think twice. Somebody giving you work without you being paid, that's an issue. All right. And then finally, which I don't like this, but I have to say it. You might have to send those bills to collection. You might have to send those bills to collection, right? But I don't want it to get to that extent. If you put procedures in place, making sure you don't do the work for free, when I say for free, you don't take any money, you just continue doing the work, then that will put you to the last stage, right? Now, if you're meeting someone and then you're paying the person, you're meeting the person today and offering the person credit, well, at the end of the day, you don't know that person, it might end up in that bucket, which is the collection agency solution. And the collection agencies, they take money, they take a percentage. So you have to hire them, they take a percentage of what they recover. So you don't really want to go into that. Hopefully you don't have to. Maybe you need to at the end of the day, but I would say the most important thing for you is to make sure that you are structured in such a way that your clients pay you. As I said before, if you're in business and you don't get paid, you're going to be out of business just like that. Businesses are supposed to thrive. They're supposed to grow, get better and better and better. And if revenue is not coming in, then that's an issue. So I hope somebody has been able to get something today that is so important for you to know how to structure your business to get paid. All right. So we have a guest today. Ms. Temi actually decided to join us today. Remember, this segment is where either I bring in a professional or someone comes in and tells us about their business or something that they are doing that we can share on this platform. And then hopefully anybody listening will be able to benefit from this. Ms. Temi, thank you for joining us today. It's really a pleasure. And I'm happy because I know that anytime anybody like you comes here, it's just to also make a difference in somebody else, in another business, right? At least they will hear that, and not even at least, it's great for them to hear whatever we're going to discuss and will make a positive impact. All right. Yeah. So yeah. What you at this time, I just want to ask you. You have any? So let me ask you first of all. Any questions you have regarding your business, so that we can actually, use this platform to just discuss it? Anything?
Yes. And just before I go on, thank you for putting this platform together and for having me on today. So I am in the financial planning and education space. So so it's a startup. It's a new business I just launched. And so I'm really excited about it. Just the prospect of helping families protect their income, build wealth. And so right now I have my personal contacts, like friends and family. And so my question today is, how do I expand, just away from my personal space? How do I build a clientele and just kind of bring the business up and hopefully scale?
Okay, awesome. First of all, congratulations. This platform is also for startups, and also for those that are already established and that's trying to grow and trying to navigate. So, want to say congratulations for getting started. Wonderful. That's a big step. Now, I want to say that when you started by saying that, oh, I have friends and personal contacts, I think you're just downplaying that, because that is your first step. That is, you're asking, well, how do you scale? A lot of people don't know that their network is where they start. And I mean, I don't know, if you actually even mention it to your family, to your friends, because the first step is starting with your network. So network means family, friends, because I'm telling you that friends can tell another friend, which will tell another friend, that will tell another friend, and that's how I expand. I know people that, are really successful today because of word of mouth, because they're so good at what they do. And I asked some of them, I've met someone that is very good and in a particular field, and asked him, how do you get your customer client? He said, referrals, because I see that he's very, very good in what he does. So I want to start by telling you that do not downplay family and friends. That is your very first step. Make sure that you let people know. A lot of people in businesses their family, they don't even know what they're doing. Let your family know, let your friends know, right? Very, very important. That's the first step. And also go ahead and tell them that I want you to tell somebody else, because some friends and family, they're so excited about, oh yes, it's Temi has started a business. She's excited, but apart from I said, please, we thank you for the excitement, but please, can you go a step further and tell somebody else, So and you have to, it's called call to action. You need to tell them. Please, could you share my card? I hope you have your business card. If you don't have your business cards, go and get your business cards and tell them, could you share? And most family and friends, it's not like they're mean, really. It's just that they said, oh yeah, they're excited, but you have to tell them, please, you have to let them know what you want them to do, right? What's expected, right? Oh yeah, thank you for commending me, but please, could you share? Could you tell your colleagues? Could you tell your friends? Could you let people know? Because everybody would actually have that network. That's first of all, use your network very, very well. That's the first one. Secondly, you have to network beyond your family and your family and friends, which is awesome. But you have to network. Network means that Go for meetings, find out what's happening, find out what's happening in the neighborhood. Show up. Business meetings, tell them, show up. There are some meetings that they actually have professionals and they said, oh, they're looking for professionals in this field. Show up, go for gatherings beyond even business meetings, right? Go for different gatherings and let people know. You have to speak up, right? Have your cards with you, right? You go for even when you go for things like bridal showers, baby showers, because things like that. I heard you mentioned financial growth, baby showers. What is the mom thinking about? What is the dad thinking about? You might not say there, but you said, can I have an appointment with you? And you find that and have an appointment with them, right? Oh, and then bridal shower. I know brides at that time, they're so excited. But here, especially that's very close to the wedding, but after that, maybe the honeymoon, I just slip them a card and say, can I meet with you? Because that's actually your goal families, right? Birthday, when you go for things like, you hear somebody, my child is celebrating a birthday, that clicks, right? Oh yeah, can I come and speak with you? And you hear this at your workplace. You hear this with people that your acquaintances with. So you have to have perky ears, right? To make sure that when you hear this, you know how to fit your card into that, and fit your card in there. Give them your card or fit your card into this discussion, because the goal is that you need to make them, feel your presence, right? Not really in a good way or not just forceful way, but from talking, you know what people are looking for, what people want, what people need. So I would say that you have to network. And of course, as I said, family and friends, the first step, let them know this is what you're doing and this is what you want them to do, right? And just continue networking and let people know. All, different communities, make sure you're, mixing with people, different genders, different cultures, diversity, just diverse people, diverse people. So you need to just continue to network. It's going to be, I know we're ending 2022 right now, but I would say this is, for me, this is a time of planning. You have to plan. This is what, give yourself goals. By this week, every week, twice, 3 times a week, I will attend something. I will talk to someone. I'll see, anytime I go out, I'll let people know, whenever there's a baby shower, oh gosh, this is my platform, right? So I hope that has really, really helped you. That's a way to make sure. And when I talk about SMEs thriving, you have to be intentional about this. It's not that it's easy. It's not like we can go on and speak. I have how many episodes now? We go on and speak. But if you want to really be successful and want to thrive, you need to be intentional. You have to decide and set a target, set a plan, target planning, make sure that you decide on how you're going to do it, because again, you have to be intentional. All right. I think we have enough time for one more question. Let's see if I can quickly. You have anything else that you want to ask?
So that was very, very helpful. A lot of tips I'm going to take away. Another thing will be, I have set up a company. What else should I be looking for in terms of even protecting my own business?
Okay. Now, I don't know, you set it up as an LLC, a limited liability company?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I always let people know, anybody listening, that's really the first step, because when you set up a limited liability company, you separate yourself from the business. So that's awesome. Now, as time goes on, I want you to make sure that, you set up, when you have a separate account from your personal account. Is very important that you don't commingle funds. You don't have it, get your EIN, make sure your company account is separate from your personal account. Your business account is separate from your personal account. That's very, very important. So have a business bank account. Even if you don't have money in that business bank account, issue a check from your personal account to your business account. So there'll be paper trail, right? And then also, I just want to stress here that when you're spending any money, please make sure it's from a debit card or credit card or check or transfer, because of paper trail. You want to make sure that there's paper trail when you're spending money for your business, all right? Because at the end of the day, you cannot defend cash with the Internal Revenue Service. You can, I mean, of course, people say they keep receipts, but I tell people that receipts sometimes get bad. You know, I know people say they scan it and keep it, but I would say it's easier to defend when you're paying it from your business account. So make sure you open a separate business account. That's so important. And then, you've registered. I don't think you're into sales tax because you're into the financial field, but generally, let me see. Then, of course, if eventually you have staff that you pay payroll, that will be eventually that will make sure you register for all the payroll taxes that you need to file. But I mean, I believe that you file. Then, of course, ensuring that you're timely in every filing, I guess this will be more of a consultation later on when you're really, but right now, the most important thing that you establish an LLC, you have separated your accounts, your business account from your personal account. That's very, very important. Now, as time goes on, as you build the business, you have to look at payroll, and making sure that everything that you are paid, everything is filed properly, because there's payroll taxes. That is a different level, right? And I believe that's generally it. But as time goes on, I would suggest that because of the complexity of having a business, if you want to, maybe have a consultation or something like a flat annual, we can talk about that. But the most important thing is we register the business as a startup, make sure that you have a separate business account. And then as you start getting paid, right, make sure your payment, of course, is going to your business accounts. Please make sure that if you're doing Zelle or anything like that, make sure the Zelle and anything is going into your business account. Now, if there's an error that is going to your personal account, make sure there's a paper trail that shows that amount is transferred to your business account, right? So let people be familiar with your payment, right? Now, I will not say that you should reject cash. When I talk about payments, I'm talking about when you pay for things like your business, use debit, credit, anyway, we can do paper trail. But I will not say do not reject cash. But I would say that, have a way that if somebody pays cash, you have evidence by, giving the person a receipt or something, right? So just to make sure that you have you're very transparent in the way you keep your records. I know a lot of people make this mistake, because I was talking to someone recently. I said, yeah, it's my business, yes, but when it comes to it being your business, in the law, the Internal Revenue Code, I'm not an attorney, but I have a master's in tax. So they will tell you that your business is different from your person, right? So you cannot mix, even though you own the business 100%. So right now you're fine as a startup, but make sure that you, as I said, separate the funds. And of course, if there's any changes in tax laws and things like that, we'll have to look at how you can keep up to date with that. But I'm very happy that you registered an LLC. And of course, as time goes on, we might have to do an election if you want us to handle that, because to make sure that you have the best tax position, right? Best tax position, all right? But we'll go into details. That is really a long topic of going through details, but I just want to say the LLC setup is very good. Make sure you separate the two accounts. Make sure you do that immediately. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll take you up on having a consultation at a later date.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, of course, no problem. But I hope that basically the goal is coming here, and hopefully I've been able to help you in answering a couple of your questions, and I'm hoping that anybody that's listening to this, and thanks Ms. Temi for coming on, that has actually been able to get something from my answering her questions. All right. Thank you
so much.
I
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
you. Okay, see
Okay.
you next time. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay, so that was awesome. I'm hoping that somebody got something today. She's she's into the financial field, but I'm very happy that she was able to be here today, and hopefully somebody actually got something. Now, let's go to our next segment. And of course, this is a question and answer segment. I have a couple of questions. Again, I know that if you, I've said this, but I will repeat that. If you want to actually leave a voicemail with your or record your question, please make sure you listen to how to do that at the end of this program. Again, make sure you do that, and then details, I'll give you details on doing that, of course. All right. Okay, so let's see the first question. I understand that buying a heavy vehicle gives me a higher tax deduction. Is that true? Well, I have to clarify something. Now, if you're saying that you're buying a heavy vehicle, we're talking about heavy vehicle is over 6,000 pounds. Now, if that you're just buying the heavy vehicle for your delights, you want to buy a heavy vehicle. Well, I would say that that is not deductible. That is not deductible because it's for you just want to, you're maybe working, you just want to have that. Now, if you're a business owner, so hopefully this is SME that's asking this question. If you're a business owner, yes, buying a heavier vehicle gives you a higher depreciation. Now, a higher depreciation, but I would say that the vehicle must be used more than 50% for business. All right. SMEs, it has been used more than 50% for business. Now, if you use this vehicle 30% for the business, then no, it doesn't apply, right? But it's more than 50% of the business for the business. Go ahead, right? That's the advantage. I know this is the end of the year, getting to the end of the year, and a lot of car deals are there. A lot of car deals. People are sales deals and sales. People are trying to buy something. Yes, go ahead. If you can afford it, please, if you can afford it, and you want to buy a vehicle, it's better for you to buy a vehicle that is 6,000 pounds, over 6,000 pounds, because it gives you the benefit of having a fully depreciated vehicle, right? Fully depreciated vehicle, all right? So if you're asking me that heavy vehicles give a higher tax deduction, I would say yes, but it depends, all right? You have to use the vehicle more than 50% of the time. Now, I want to make sure we understand that commuting is not part of when you're calculating 50% of the time. Now, if you have a rented office, you have an office that you rent and you drive to the office, right? Drive to the office and drive back and forth. That is commuting. That is not when you're calculating 50% usage. That is not part of it. Now, if you from your office or from your home, you go to see a client, you go, for work. That is work. That is the mileage that qualifies. All right. That mileage qualifies. So please make sure when we're saying, 50% of the time, 50% or more. I drive to work all the time. I drive to my rented place all the time. That doesn't qualify as mileage for business. Okay, I hope that's clear. So again, yes, when you buy a vehicle that is more than 6,000 pounds, it's fully deductible as long as it's used more than 50% for business. And remember, commuting mileage is not part of the 50% calculation. All right. Okay. Now, the next question is, my mom has very good administrative skills. Is it okay to hire her in my business? Of course. Please go ahead. Go ahead and hire her. In fact, here in the US, you actually are encouraged to hire family members. If you hire your parents, all right, you don't even have to pay full-time taxes, federal unemployment tax. You don't have to do that, right? You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay full-time tax, right? But I would say one thing that is very important when you're hiring family members is that you should make sure that it is, okay, I don't like being very technical, but I'm going to use the word, make sure it's an arm's length, okay. When I say transaction or employment is arm's length, let me explain to that what that means. It means that think of hiring if you hire somebody else, that you pay the person the same salary as you pay your family member. Okay, hope that is clear. If I'm hiring my mom, right, make sure that if I hire somebody else, I'm paying the person and my mom the same amount if they have the same responsibility, right? So don't hire a family member and pay them way above normal rates. That is going to be a problem. All right, that is going to be a problem. Don't hire any of the family members and pay them way like outrageous amount, right? And make sure that you document what they're doing. What are they doing, right? Are they doing work for you? Of course, that okay. Document the work. That's what I would say, because you don't want, of course, if the Internal Revenue Service comes knocking at your door, and or any government agency, right, to check your records. I mean, you shouldn't be worried. You shouldn't be worried. The most important thing is that you are doing something that you know that you documented everything. And I mean, and of course, the pay structure is the same as someone, if you're paying someone that is not related to you. And I mean, there's no issue, there's no problem. All right. So the issue here is that, yes, it's not an issue. It's okay. Please go ahead and hire mom, right? And, and then make sure that you pay her at par with someone else. And, hope your mom is not the kind that will come in and make sure that she's checking your work very well, So, yeah, but just kidding here. Please, yeah, go ahead and hire your mom, all right? Yes, there's a lot of advantages of hiring family members. All right. Okay, so let me see if I have another one. Okay, I'm not taking a salary since I started my business, but I take money from my business account as and when needed. Is that okay? Well, I mean, this is okay. Let me break this down because it's not everything is not. I mean, this is not very clear, but I will say that it depends. This question, I have not taken a salary since I started my business, but I take money from my business account as and when needed. Is that okay? Well, I would say it depends. Now, the lady that came in today said that she's an LLC. Now, for an LLC, I'll even reverse it. For an LLC, some people actually pay themselves a salary. If you're an LLC, you are not allowed to pay yourself a salary. Let me repeat that. If you're an LLC, just an LLC, and you file your taxes as an LLC, you're not allowed to pay yourself a salary. All right? You're not allowed. Okay? So if you're an LLC and you are asking these questions, I'm not taking a salary since I started my business, but I take money from my business account as and when needed, as and when needed. Is that okay? Yes, it's okay. That you're allowed to do that, right? You're an LLC. Now, there's a structure that you're not allowed to do that, right? Okay. Now, of course, if there are two structures which would look, I mean, you're not allowed to do that in these two structures, right? Now, if you're a sole proprietorship, you're not even an LLC, you're sole proprietorship, that is fine. What you're doing, you can do that. You can take money from your business, right? So partnerships, we know that drawings, you can do that because you're not allowed to pay yourself a salary. Now, if you're a C corporation, and I'm talking here in the US, if you're a C corporation or an S corporation, now that is totally different, right? I'll start with an S corporation. As an S corporation, you are supposed to do what? Pay yourself a salary. You're required to pay yourself a salary. Why are you required to pay yourself a salary? Is because that money that is paid, like the drawings, you don't have to pay payroll taxes on any drawings, any money you take, like you're saying that you took money from the account. You don't have to pay any tax on that drawings. You don't. Any payroll tax, not any tax, any payroll tax, right? On the drawings. Now, but for salary, you have to pay payroll taxes. All right? Salary, you have to pay payroll taxes. So if that being the case, if you don't pay yourself a salary and you're an S corp, you don't pay yourself a salary, what happens is that you will not pay payroll taxes, right? And so you cannot do that. You cannot do that. In fact, the Internal Revenue Service goes a step further. They will even say that salary that you're paying, is it the right amount? Is it the right amount? The salary that you're paying, is that the correct amount? Okay, so that is one issue with an S corp. So if you're an S corp and you've been withdrawing money here and there and you have never paid yourself a salary, please make sure that you're paying yourself a salary. Now, an LLC can be taxed as an S corp. Please let me make sure we're clear here. An S corp is a tax structure. An S corp is not a legal structure. So it can be an LLC and tax as an S corp. So if you are taxed as an S corp, you must pay yourself a salary, and the salary has to be reasonable, right? Reasonable amount. You cannot be, if you can't be like a CPA and be paying yourself $10,000 a year. Of course, that's not reasonable, right? So you have to make sure it's reasonable, because if it's not reasonable, the Internal Revenue Service will come after you, right? And they'll come after you and calculate the salary for you, and then they'll charge you interest and penalties before not paying the right taxes, and you don't want to do that. So please make sure you are making sure that you are paying yourself a salary. Now for the C corp, if you're working, you're actually supposed to, working in your business, of course, you're actually also supposed to pay yourself a salary, all right? C corp is a bit different, because in a C corp corporation, you pay yourself at the end of the day, when there's profit, that profit is taxed at the level of that when you make profit, and then it's taxed again when they give you, when you take money from the C corp, right? In fact, if you have to, when the C corp is actually, you have to be very careful so that it won't look as if you're taking distribution of dividend, all right? Dividend, okay? It's very important, because one thing about the C corp, I don't want to get too technical here, but you have to understand the structure. The most important thing for you when this question is coming up, if you are one of those people that you're just withdrawing money and you're not paying yourself a salary, you have to sit back and, of course, if you're available, if you're not working with a CPA currently, but you need to sit back and really check this out. The year is about to end, and this is the time that is the best to sit back and really correct everything that is needed to be corrected. All right, really make sure that everything's corrected. If you haven't taken a salary, this is the time that you should see how you can take a salary before the end of the year. You have to really protect yourself to make sure that the Internal Revenue Service does not give you a call and audit you, and there becomes an issue. Okay, so I hope I've been able to answer those questions, and of course, we're very excited, and I just want to leave you with this. Maybe in this 2022, your business has not grown as much as you would have wanted it to grow. I just want to give yourself a pat on the back, because so many businesses are not even surviving, talk less of thriving. So if you've survived up to now, just give yourself a pat on the back. As we move into, even as we close out this 2022, and move into a great year coming up, coming forward and going forward year, I want you to think of being intentional in 2023. That should be your goal, to be intentional. Even as we talk about all this stuff in 2022, it's going to be a time that you're going to practicalize it. All right, I'm going to leave that with you. Be very thankful the business has survived, and you're now in the last month of 2022. All right, great job. See you next time. And make sure that you're intentional so that your business can thrive. All right. Have a good one. See you next week. Bye for now. Thanks for having me. Remember to join my live podcast on Tuesdays, 6 to 6:45 p.m.
Central Standard Time. Visit my website, dreniadesnia.com, for details. Till next time.